There we go. I hope you can all see the first slide, which is the title of today's webinar. So Discover Creative Arts and Architecture at Manchester Metropolitan University. So today's webinar will focus on one of the very strong areas at Manchester Met. We are home to one of the oldest schools of design in the UK, and also a brand new School of Digital Arts. So I'll introduce you to all of those. So a little bit about me. I'm Isabella. I'm the International Recruitment Manager at Manchester Met and the Country Manager for Turkey. So here I've left my contact details. You can also scan the QR code to send your contact details with the course you're interested in if you're looking for more tailored kind of answer if you have any questions. And you've got the social media there and our international pages. So welcome again. So today we will look at the introduction to creative arts in the UK. Then I will introduce you to art, design, media, performance, and architecture courses at Manchester Met. We're going to look at entry requirements, academic and portfolio requirements, and then how to apply cost, which will also cover scholarships, and of course a Q&A session as well. So to start with, so creative industries in the UK are really broad. So what comes in as a creative industry? You've got a list there. So it's anything from advertising, marketing, architecture, crafts, design, film, media, IT, software, computer services, publishing, of course, museum, galleries, libraries, music, performance, visual arts, and I'm sure there's more. So it's a very broad industry. So it's not just art, design, film, photography. It's actually more than that. And it's a very important area in the UK for the UK industry. So the recent couple of years has been bringing a lot to UK economy. So you can see the figure there, that's over 100 billion of gross value added to the economy. So that's huge numbers. And creative industries really have grown actually faster than kind of the UK average. So between 2010 and 2019 was a 43.6% growth. And the kind of average growth for different sectors around the UK is 17.7%. And creative industries account for over 2 million jobs. And you can see here some of the sectors in that kind of circle. So in terms of how much different sectors bring to the economy, IT, software and games, 47 billion. You've got film and TV, 21.6. There's other areas like advertising, music, arts, crafts, architecture, publishing. So these are the key sectors within the creative industries. And going back to kind of the job sector, this has been growing, and again, it is exceeding the UK averages. So jobs in this sector have grown almost triple when it comes to kind of UK average. And the sector is quite interesting because it's mainly made up with kind of small companies and micro businesses. Of course, there are big companies within the UK as well, like kind of some of the big brands, but really it's made up of lots of little businesses or medium-sized businesses. And now I just wanted to focus on the creative industries in Manchester. So of course, London is an important creative industry hub, but Manchester is the next one, basically outside of London. And the sector has been growing fastest in Manchester than any other region in the UK, second to London. And there are some key sectors in Manchester. So IT, software, computer services, film, TV, video, photography, architecture, publishing, music, performing arts, and visual arts. And here in Greater Manchester, we've got the Media City UK. That's actually Europe's largest purpose-built digital hub. And that is actually home to BBC and ITV. So BBC main headquarters are here in Manchester. And there are other creative industry hubs, for example, Home, which you can see on the picture here. And this is actually just next to Manchester Met campus. So it's a fantastic facility with a theatre. And there are other big projects and big kind of clusters of creativity in Manchester. For example, the Corridor Manchester is like a very similar, obviously on a smaller scale, but to the Silicon Valley in California. So that's our mini Silicon Valley. Manchester is also a huge online fashion retail hub, including Boohoo, Misguided, and Pretty Little Thing. And we also have Google, IBM, Arup, Amazon bases here in Manchester. And it's also a very large advertising and digital marketing sector here, including, for example, big companies such as Dentsu Aegis and Media.com. So definitely there is a big say for Manchester as a destination if you are thinking of creative industries. And now more about what you can expect if you go into industries, creative industries, and you're looking for a job employment in the UK following your studies. So of course, you're going to be spending lots of your time practicing and working on your craft, developing. And of course, if you, for example, a fashion designer, that could be working on textiles. If you, for example, do advertising, that could be working on, for example, storytelling, but it's always basically improving your craft. And because as I've mentioned, there are a lot of smaller businesses here, you're actually more likely to work as a self-employed or a freelancer, a professional, kind of short-term contracts. And to build your career, of course, you have to build your reputation and expertise, and only then you can really expect the higher earnings. So here I'm giving you two examples of someone who might be going into a job in marketing or architecture. So as you can see, as an assistant, you're looking at anything between, let's say, 18,000 to 22 for a marketing assistant, and for an architect between 15 and 22. And as you're progressing, you can expect, of course, higher earnings. So let's say if you aspire to go into kind of that director level, then you can look at really high earnings. But it's really important to remember that in the UK, at the graduate level, you're looking at those lower earnings because you're a graduate, so you are at a junior position. And of course, practical experience is really important for employers. So it is a challenge for fresh graduates because, of course, if you spend 3 years of a degree here in the UK, there isn't always that much time for full-time employment, but there are internships. Some of the courses come with a 1-year internship or a summer internship. So it's really important to develop your practical experience as well during your course. And of course, it's not only internships. You can take part in different shows and competitions. So showcase your work, show your work to the world. And interestingly, when it comes to creative industries, the job applications are a little bit different. So it's not just sending your CV. You might have to do kind of show your online blog, your portfolio. There might be different assessment centers. Of course, there might be auditions if you're in the performance sector. So it is a very different, very exciting sector, but very different when it comes to kind of employment opportunities. So now, hopefully that was a helpful introduction to creative industry. So now I would like to tell you more about the art, design, media, performance, and architecture programs at Manchester Met. So here's the campus. So we are in the heart of Manchester. So we're very, very lucky to be right in the center of all of those exciting things I've mentioned to you. So we are a campus university, which means everything is in one place. And it's a large campus. So we've got a lot of students here. And Manchester in general, it's a great student city, one of the largest student populations here in Manchester when it comes to students. So on the campus here, I'm going to just point out Manchester School of Art. You've got the Arts and Humanities faculty there. And let's say to your accommodation, you can see those little houses, that student accommodation usually is between 5 to 10, 15 minutes walk. And the campus is really compact. So let's say from Faculty of Education to the School of Art, it takes about 8 minutes to walk across the campus. So it's really a great place to be. And around 10-15 minutes to the city centre, to the main square in Manchester called Piccadilly Gardens. And of course, if you're interested in any of these kind of areas of creative arts, definitely attend the virtual open days. This is where you can learn more about specific courses, talk to the course tutors, talk to all the students, and it's a really fantastic resource. So we've got undergraduate, postgraduate open days coming up in May and June. Of course, these are all virtual. Normally, we will be inviting you on campus, but at the moment, it's an online virtual event. So a little bit more about Manchester, just from the student point of view. So it's a most cost-effective student city in the UK. So you will be in a huge city, but the cost will be lower. So on average, the cost is lower between kind of 30–40% to London. So it is a really great place to be for a student. It's also top 5 in terms of business cities in Europe and the fastest growing tech city in Europe. And also, it's been voted UK's best city to live in, I think 3 years in a row now. So it's really appreciated by people here. So actually lots of people now are moving into Manchester because it's such a great place to be. And you might wonder why there is a picture of a bee. Manchester has got a fantastic symbol, and it's the worker bee. So if you want to read more about that, I definitely encourage you. It's a fascinating story of the Manchester bee. So a little bit more about Manchester Met. So we've got 34,000 students, so we're a large university. We've got 3,000 international students from over 130 different countries. We've really invested in our campus, so I'll show you some of the facilities. We've got 14 research centers. And apart from the academic kind of teaching and support, we also have fantastic sports club and societies. So not only is of course, the academic experience, but also outside of academic experience. And in terms of our history, I'm not going to go through all of it, but I wanted to point something out to you, that Manchester Met became a university in 1992, but actually many of our schools and institutes that then formed the university have been teaching for almost 200 years. That includes the Manchester School of Design, which was founded in 1838. And a lot has changed since then. We've got lots of new buildings, and we're still developing the campus. So we've got a new school of digital arts coming in 2021. So this year, hopefully, we'll be welcoming students in September in this new building. And more about academic excellence. We're fantastic at teaching. So we've got the TEF Silver Award for Teaching Excellence. We are also ranked globally as a young university. We're top 200 in the world in the Times Higher. And we've got fantastic research. So 85% of our research is world leading or internationally excellent, which means basically our research makes difference and makes impact. So a little bit more about rankings here. So just wanted to show you where Manchester Met is. So we're 54th in the UK in the Complete University Guide. And you can see kind of where we are ranked in terms of comparing to other universities. So I know, for example, University of the Arts London is very popular in Turkey. So it's ranked 51st. City University London, 57. You've got Northumbria University, Newcastle, also fantastic for design and art subjects. So you can see more or less where Manchester Met is ranked. And what's really fascinating is that graph there, which shows progress of Manchester Met in rankings. So we are really, really improving every year. And this is just something to show you in terms of course, if you are concerned about rankings and you want to make sure you go to a highly ranked university, we're very close to that top 50 in the UK. And worldwide, I've mentioned we're top 200 as a young university, and overall in the world university rankings, 601 to 800. Now, subject rankings are also really important, especially if we're, of course, talking about creative industries. I'm talking here about specific courses. So here I've put together a table with rankings from different kind of UK tables, but also the QS World and Times World ranking. So here you've got an indication of how important and how strong Manchester Met is in terms of education in creative arts. So our drama and dance program is ranked 5th in the UK, our fashion and textile 6th. We've got very strong architecture ranking as well within the UK, but also worldwide. So you've got other areas, for example, ranked 12 film and production and photography. And again, in the Complete University Guide, you've got art and design, again, 7th in the UK. Also creative writing. Also in the Times Higher, you've got history, history of art, architecture, design, and again, drama, dance, cinematics, music. And going to the world rankings, our architecture program is ranked 11th in the world, and our art and design programs are ranked top 200 in the world. So really fantastic prospects here for you in terms of art, design, media, architecture. So here are the 5 faculties at Manchester Met. Of course, today we'll be focusing on arts and humanities, but just in case you are here, but you might be actually looking at a different course, we also have business and law, education, health, psychology, social care, and science engineering. So more about arts and humanities. So we've got 5 different schools. We've got Manchester School of Art, we've got School of Digital Arts, Manchester Fashion Institute, Manchester School of Theatre, and Manchester School of Architecture. And you can see the courses we offered or the subject areas below. So if there are any courses that you're looking for in particular, just reach out to me, just ask questions. So now I'm just going to give you an overview of these 5. So Manchester School of Art, again, second oldest provider of art and design education in the UK, established in 1838. We've got a really strong emphasis on collaboration. We do really interesting units where you work together in a group from students from different courses. So say if you do fashion, you might be working with a student from fine art or photography, and you work on great projects across the city, across Manchester. And we've got outstanding facilities. So this is an award-winning building, really interesting complex. You've got the old building there, but also a new building, really great facilities, including a rooftop terrace as well. So when it's not raining, you can be there on the rooftop terrace. So really great studios, very old school studios, so workshops as well. So you can do anything from ceramics to woodwork, but also the new studios, including, of course, computer, PC, Apple suites. So hopefully this will work. I'll show you a little virtual tour of the School of Art. And one thing I didn't actually mention, that the School of Art has its own gallery called the Holden Gallery. So not many universities can say that they've got their own art gallery, but we do. So next is the next exciting project for Manchester Met, opening in 2021, later in the year. It's SODA, so School of Digital Arts. So it's a huge investment, over £35 million, new workspaces, so great facilities, including screening spaces, virtual reality studios, user experience studios, of course, kind of digital innovation labs, film photography studios, green studio spaces for your filmmakers, motion, stop motion, sound and music production studios, and more. And here the little interesting fact is that our industry advisory group is actually chaired by Oscar-winning director Danny Boyle. So you might remember probably the most well-known film is The Slumdog Millionaire, which Danny Boyle directed. Now on to Manchester Fashion Institute. Really interesting array of courses. So you can study fashion, but you can also study fashion buying, media and merchandising, fashion promotion, fashion technology, fashion marketing. So it's anything from fashion design, textiles, to actually the backstage of fashion, so the business of fashion. And we've got really strong links with industry. So almost £3 million from the industry coming in form of placements. And this includes placements with big companies such as Adidas, Alexander McQueen, Ralph Lauren. We also focus very much on personal development and industry. So we do assessment centers where we invite our students, we invite industry leaders, and students actually have a chance to practice their interview skills, presentation skills. There are trade fairs, so students can actually showcase their products. And there's competitions we, of course, encourage our students to take part in. And again, really fantastic industry standard facilities, including sewing machines, cutting rooms, 3D body scanners. And we've also got the innovation zone. This is where we've got the latest kind of advances in fashion technology, so similar to like 3D body scanners. And we've got award-winning students. You've got a couple of award-winning students right there. So First, we've got a student who you might recognize that man there from the industry, actually a different industry, sports. That's David Beckham, who is one of the ambassadors for the British Council of Fashion. Worked together with our students to design a shoe, which was then going on charity as basically a charity piece. So fantastic experience for our student. And then below you've got Hannah, one of our students who won the most prestigious award for fashion students, is the Graduate Fashion Week Award. But our students have also won the Best New Designer, Young Designer of the Year. So we're really famous for developing award-winning students and graduates. So our graduates go into various different jobs and actually globally as well. So we've got graduates in Chanel, H&M, Harrods, Burberry, and many, many more. And we also have a lot of international collaborations. So there is a chance to get involved in projects in the US, China, Italy, India, and many, many more. A little bit more about Manchester School of Theatre. So the school is a member of the Federation of Drama Schools. We've got partnership with Home, which I mentioned to you before. So that's a creative arts theatre and media venue. Also strong links with BBC, with Granada Studios and other kind of theatres here in Manchester. There is an audition process. So to apply, you first have to send a video audition, then you actually have to come to Manchester to do another audition. And the School of Theatre is based in our brand new Arts and Humanities building, which actually includes a 108-seater theatre. So here's the new building and the theatre, and here's one of our alumni. You might recognize him. If you're a Game of Thrones fan, you will know that this is Samuel. So John Bradley graduated from Manchester Met, is part of our alumni community as well. So definitely read a little bit more about his stories and his experience of Manchester Met. And last but not least is the Manchester School of Architecture, which is run together by Manchester Met and the University of Manchester. It provides professional courses in architecture accredited by RIBA and RIB. We're 3rd in the UK and 11th in the QS World Rankings. We've got fantastic studio spaces, including studio spaces at Manchester Met campus, and over 100 years of experience. So it's a fantastic, globally recognized school of architecture. So now how to apply, what's the cost of study, scholarships, and so forth. So most of the courses that we've talked about come as a 3-year bachelor degree, but you can also apply for a foundation year. You can also consider a work placement or a sandwich year. So depending on kind of where you are and your preference, it will either be a standard 3-year bachelor degree or a 4-year bachelor degree. Master programs, majority are 1 year, although we do offer MFA programs, which are 2-year. So MFA is an extended master program, and it's specific to kind of creative industries, arts and design. And the PhD program will be a minimum of 3 years if you're looking for a PhD, which we also offer here at Manchester Metropolitan University. So how to apply? Well, it depends on kind of which level you're applying for. So for undergraduate programs, including foundation, the kind of easiest way to apply would be through UCAS. There are some exceptions. So some of our foundation programs, the Art and Design Foundation, for example, there is a direct application. But majority undergraduate programs, bachelor programs will be through UCAS. For postgraduate taught programs, there is an online application at Manchester Met website. There are some exceptions to that, but majority you will apply through the online portal at Manchester Met website. And postgraduate research, so if you're looking for a PhD, usually it's an initial discussion through email or Zoom with a potential supervisor, and then an online application. And of course, you've got SIUK here as one of course, our trusted education advisors who've got plenty of experience in applying for courses at Manchester Met. So you can also reach out to them if you need help. So, of course, because we're talking about art, design, media, architecture programs, there is an importance of a portfolio. So portfolio is a set of pieces of your creative work that demonstrates your ability, your personality, your potential. It's very important for applying for these sort of courses. It shows, of course, the admission to your skills, but also your passion, enthusiasm, and your area of interest. So here I've just got a sample of kind of a portfolio video. This is specific for fashion, but hopefully will give you some ideas. So hopefully that has given you an opportunity to just see what we mean when we say portfolio, and it's given me an opportunity to have a sip of coffee, very much needed coffee. So now I'm going to just go into more detail of portfolio preparation. So the portfolio content has already been mentioned. It's a variety of pieces. So sketchbooks, idea sheets, development work, finished work, selection of media and materials is really important so that you don't focus just on, for example, drawing. If it's pencil drawing, for example, we want to see more. So we want to see different media. And of course, captions and annotations are really important. So you have to describe your portfolio. So let's say if it's 50 or 100 words just for each piece that you're putting in. And it's important that your works should be selected and representing of your interest in the course you're applying for. So if you're applying, for example, for animation, it should show your interest in animation and some animation pieces. If, of course, it's, for example, graphic design, again, it should show the skills or your interest in that area. So that's really important. So we don't just look for a general combination of all the art and media you might have done, but it should be connected to the course you're applying for. And the presentation is really important. So remember to include the kind of craft skills, so drawing, working with materials, photography. Of course, artistic scope is important. So use of color, different forms, shapes, space. Make sure you engage with the subject. So it should, again, indicate your interest in a particular area. So it could be a theme, it could be something you're passionate with, and also conceptual development. So we want to really see how you've developed your idea. And this is why we want to see some unfinished work. So we don't just want to see your final canvas. We want to see how you got there and show that development process, how you got from A to B. And even if you've made mistakes, that's great. Show us why you thought it was a mistake and show us how you then directed your piece of work in the future to kind of maybe mitigate some of the kind of worries that you had or mistakes you've made. And it should really communicate kind of analytical and creative thinking. And that's why we want to see work in progress, because if you just show us your final piece, we don't really know how you got there. We don't really know what inspired you and what the stages kind of that you took throughout developing your work. So what's a good suggestion is maybe to actually put a date on different kind of projects you're doing, so that you can see the development as well. So of course, select your works carefully. Make sure your formatting is clear. Just think about how the content is displayed. Is it a theme, or is it kind of 3 different projects? If you are, for example, if you've done 3D works or a sculpture, make sure you photograph it well. That's really important, that photography should be clear and should really show off your work. And if you're referencing other people's work, again, make sure you include a source. And usually what we'd suggest is make several attempts on creating your portfolio. It's probably going to be difficult to do it in your first go. So keep working on it, keep improving it. So again, that goes with the common mistakes. So don't leave it too late. Make sure you allow enough time to kind of review it, to improve it. Don't focus on one of the skills, just one skill. So I've mentioned that kind of we sometimes see that students really want to show off, for example, for architecture, their pencil drawing, but we actually want to see more. Don't only include finished pieces. We've mentioned that. We want to see development. And take a look at the entry requirements specific to your course, because there might be, for example, a suggestion on how many pieces. So don't include too few or too many pieces. So take a look at the entry requirements. Make sure the context of your work is clear. So descriptions are really important. If you're applying, for example, for fashion, but also for fine art, don't use the same portfolio, because they will not be relevant to the course. So you have to then prepare 2 portfolios if you're thinking of 2 different courses. And make sure you review and leave some time for improvement. So speak to your art teacher or tutor, attend university open days, webinars, portfolio workshops, speak to other students or alumni who've been through the portfolio process and get some advice as well. So thinking about the format, think of the digital format, because that's how we want to see your portfolio, as a digital. So that's why photography is important. So you will upload your digital portfolio onto a blog. It could be Blogger, WordPress. You can also send it as a PDF. So you can also share a link with admissions team. You have to kind of wait for the process to be explained to you if PDF, for example, is accepted. And consider the file size. There are some requirements there as well. Protect your personal details. So usually would only use your student ID instead of your name. An interview might also be required for some of the very popular courses, such as our fashion program. And remember to submit, of course, your portfolio within a deadline. So we usually will give you a deadline once we request a portfolio. So now, after the portfolio requirements have been hopefully introduced, we can go into entry requirements in terms of academic and English requirements. So first of all, we'll start at courses at Manchester Met. And then we'll go into the architecture programs, which are delivered together by Manchester Met and University of Manchester, because these have different requirements. So for our foundation program, we will be looking at 3.0 out of 5, or 60% in UNICEF. For undergraduate programs, we can accept you directly if you've graduated from a school that's on our approved list. And if you have questions about if your school is on that list, just let me know and I'll confirm. So usually we're looking for 3.5 or 65%. If you're taking A-levels, if you're an international school, or if you're taking IB, you've got the entry requirements there. Of course, if you're taking a foundation year, maybe already in the UK, we can also consider that. If you are already at the university studying for your first year, you can also apply to Manchester Met as long as you successfully complete first year at a university in Turkey. If you're looking at master programs, then depending on the course you're applying for, either we'll be looking at 2.8 GPA or 2.5. We also do accept slightly lower GPA if you have graduated from high-ranked institution in Turkey. So, for example, Koç University, for a 2-1, we can accept 2.6, or for a 2-2, we can accept 2.3 out of 4. So again, if you have any questions on those GPA requirements, just let me know. Now, English language requirements. So most of our undergraduate programs are looking for 6.0 with no element below 5.5 when it comes to IELTS. And for postgraduate, it will be 6.5 and no element below 5.5 for a master program. Or if you're looking for PhD, it would be no less than 6.0 in any of the elements of the IELTS. We do have a language center where we offer pre-sessional courses as well. So if your level of English is lower, we can offer an English language course. And of course, because of COVID and because of the closures of many of the testing centers, we do also accept other tests. So, for example, IELTS indicator or the TOEFL IBT special home edition and many more. So you can check our website. There is a list of everything that we accept at the moment due to the COVID-19 situation. So now on to fees for the courses. For the majority of the courses in art, design, media, you will be looking at, for undergraduate programs, £17,000. And for postgraduate programs, £17,500. So research programs, the cost can vary, but usually around 20,000. So undergraduate, your programs will be at the higher rate of 17,000, and again, postgraduate 17,500. Now, I just want to introduce you to the entry requirements for architecture programs. So the Manchester School of Architecture, as I've mentioned, is run together by Manchester Met and University of Manchester and has slightly different requirements. So for BA Architecture, we're looking for minimum 4.5 out of 5 or 80 in your 2 final years. Again, it has to be from an approved school. And also 75% in your maths across the 2 final years. You've got the A-level requirement and IB requirement there. Again, we can look at a foundation year, although we don't accept that many into our architecture program. Or again, if you're studying architecture at the moment in Turkey, if you successfully complete the first year, you can apply to our first year. And you've got entry requirements there for MA Architecture and Urbanism and the MA Masters of Architecture as well. So these are actually the same as the Manchester Met. And of course, there will be a portfolio requirement. So here the main difference is really the BA Architecture. The list of schools that are accepted is more limited than the list of schools for other courses. So again, just ask me, let me know where you're studying, and I'll confirm for you. The entry requirements in terms of English are slightly higher as well. So architecture, the BA program looks for 6.5, 6.5 in writing, and then no component below 6.0. Architecture and urbanism, 6.5, no component below 5.5, and the PhD, 6.5, no component below 6.0. And again, you've got, of course, the language center with the pre-sessional programs and other tests being accepted. And now on to fees at Manchester School of Architecture. These are as well different. They're higher than any other courses at Manchester Met. So we've got BA Architecture, that's £25,000 per year. MA Architecture and Urbanism, 28,500, and MA Architecture and Landscape Architecture there as well. So 25,000, and then Landscape Architecture, £17,500 per year. So now on to scholarships. So at Manchester Met, we have a couple of different types of scholarships. So I'm going to start with the higher scholarships. That's the Vice Chancellor International Scholarships. These are either £6,000 or £8,000. They're only offered for selected courses. So different courses across different faculties. So business, science, engineering, humanities, and art and design. So within art and design, we offer the scholarship for 5 courses that are listed. So design innovation, sound design, games, art, emerging technologies, and MA documentary. So these are all master programs. The deadline for the application for these scholarships is July. The other scholarships that we have is automatic scholarships, meaning that you don't have to make a separate application. Once you apply to the university and you receive an offer to study with us, we will also let you know on the scholarships available. So for undergraduate students, it's £2,000 for every year of your study. So for any bachelor program, it will be £2,000 basically for every year. So altogether £6,000 if it's a 3-year degree. And for master programs, this will be £2,000 or £3,000 depending on your GPA. So if you have a very high GPA in your bachelor degree from Turkey, you're probably looking at 3,000, and if it's slightly lower GPA, 2,000. So again, if you want clarification on your particular GPA, I will be happy to do that. And there's some other discounts and scholarships as well. So there's alumni discounts, there's sports scholarships, there's some other faculty-specific scholarships. An important note here is that the courses at Manchester School of Architecture are excluded from the scholarships offer here above. So the Vice Chancellor Scholarship or the international scholarships, they're not available if you're applying for any courses in architecture. And accommodation, just some kind of introduction here with some guidance on pricing. So here I put together one of kind of our more expensive accommodations and the less expensive accommodations. So for a year in a premium ensuite or kind of studio, you're looking at around £7,000 to £8,000. So of course your studio apartment, that's just you in an apartment. So that's the kind of more high-end or kind of luxury accommodation. And then I've also put here some of the cheapest accommodations. So a classic room where you share a bathroom, you've got a shared kitchen, is around 4,700 per year. So you can see that you've got listed kind of how many weeks. So usually it's actually less than a year. Usually it's kind of 10 months basically that you have in your accommodation in terms of the contract. There is a deposit that you pay for the accommodation, similar to a deposit for the course. So when you apply, your course deposit is usually £3,000, and that's taken from the overall kind of fee, tuition fee. And similar to accommodation, the deposit is £1,500, and that's taken from the final fee. And your accommodation and tuition fees can be paid in installments, 3 installments in October, January, and April. And if you want to see more about accommodation, kind of where it is, look at the map, definitely visit our website. You can kind of do little virtual tours around the types of rooms and locations we offer. And of course, across the different faculties, doesn't matter what you study, there will be student support. So there's specific COVID-19 student support. Of course, we've got a orientation program for international students coming in September. We've got a dedicated welfare officer for international students. Of course, there's also support for any academic issues, health and well-being. We've got support in terms of visa and immigration. There's also help with your English. So we offer English language support in form of kind of free classes. You, of course, have your personal tutor who will be there with you for the duration of your program. So looking at your academic progress, support, assessment, anything else, really. And of course, there's disability support to provide equal opportunities as well at Manchester Met. And I've mentioned to you the Language Centre. So it's a British Council accredited language centre. So this is where we teach our pre-sessional programs. There's also other programs such as Coaching for Academic English, which is free for current students, international students. And there's lots of different other incentives and activities to basically continue improving your English language. And the Language Centre also offers other courses. So if you're thinking, oh, actually, I want to try Spanish or Italian, you can as well. So the Language Centre not only offers English language programs, but also other modern languages. And just wanted to finish off with some important information about working in the UK. So during your studies, if you're on a student visa, you can work up to 20 hours per week during term time. if you are outside of term time, so for example, summer vacation or the Christmas break, you can work full time, so you can extend your hours. And your employer and also Manchester Met will be monitoring the hours. And of course, it's also your responsibility to make sure you do not exceed those hours. After your studies, there's now a new 2-year visa, graduate route that you can apply for. So you have to be, when you've got your visa, when you're studying in the UK and your student visa, you have to basically make an application for the graduate employment visa when you're still here and you've got your valid visa. And that gives you 2 years here in the UK. And of course, our immigration team will be able to help you with that application. So next steps, if this sounds interesting to you, here are the 3 things I would recommend. Chat to our current students. So as soon as you go onto our webpage, you get this kind of chat to us pop-up. You can select kind of what course you want to chat to a student at or nationality. You can download the brochure, so look through kind of a PDF brochure. You can sign up for our international student newsletter as well. So that will keep you up to date on anything that's going on, from scholarships to deadlines to webinars, any other kind of activities we've got for prospective international students. And of course, I've mentioned to you the virtual open days as well. And last but not least, I'm here for you. You can email me any kind of questions that you've got. Of course, every year in a normal year, I would be traveling to Turkey and meeting with you face-to-face at kind of SIUK fairs or other kind of large exhibitions. So I hope I will be able to do that soon. But for now, I'm very, very happy to chat to you on Zoom or via email. So that will be all from me. So I'll stop sharing my screen now. There we go. And I think we still got some time left. It's okay. So there's no question for presentation. It's okay. I'll give it 2 more minutes just in case any questions pop up. If not, we can finish off. And of course, I'm still at my booth. And I'll be very happy to chat with you then. And you've got my contact details if you prefer to email. So thank you very much for attending today's webinar. I hope it gave you some kind of inspiration to consider art, design, media, and architecture at Manchester Met.